Over to the NFL, where we wait on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision on where he will play this upcoming season. That wait continues as we welcome in our NFL insider, Jeremy Fowler. You had to be here yesterday for our high school superlatives. But Jeremy, what's the latest on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers situation?
Amina, the Steelers remain optimistic in Aaron Rodgers. They have had contact, I'm told, with Aaron Rodgers. They believe Rodgers is still interested in potentially becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler, but nothing hard and fast, no updates right now. Two key dates for you. You have OTAs start May 27th. Mini camp, mandatory, starts June 10th. So the Steelers would hope that around one of those two dates, Rodgers would be in a Steelers uniform, ready to go, throwing passes to DK Metcalf and everyone else. Now, the Steelers front office this week is actually on a retreat to sort of plan for the offseason, plan for the summer and the beginning of the year. So nothing is imminent right now. When they get closer to getting on the field, they would love for Rodgers to be ready. So they're going to continue to wait, but they still are optimistic.
So if there is no Aaron Rodgers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, what's a potential plan B for them at that quarterback position?
I would say Kirk Cousins. I mean, I had some conversations with people this week to lead me to believe that Cousins is at the very least on the Steelers' radar if something were to fall through on Rodgers. Now, here's how they could make that happen. Cousins has $37.5 million in guarantees between this year and next year. Somebody's on the hook for that, whether it's Atlanta or someone else. So to facilitate a trade, Atlanta would need a team to offset some of that money, whether it's $4 million, $20 million, whatever it is. But the feeling around the league is that Atlanta has not been willing to budge on this. They haven't shown a lot of interest in trading Cousins. It would take a hefty price tag for another team to wiggle that out. As one source told me, if they were willing to take a small percentage, like let's say $7 or $8 million of that money, a deal would be done by now. There was interest earlier in the offseason. Right now, Pittsburgh might be the only hope for Cousins, or he's sort of stuck in Atlanta.
Yeah, very interesting situation when it comes to the quarterbacks in Pittsburgh. Jeremy Fowler.
Waiting game continues for Aaron Rodgers. Let's call it an information darkness retreat. Mind you, Pittsburgh cleared the path for the fourth-time All-Pro after Russell Wilson and Justin Fields got up out of there, leaving a standing offer on the table for Rodgers. I'm banking on our senior NFL writer, Jeremy Fowler, to help shed some light on this here situation. Now, Jeremy, what more can you tell us about where things stand between Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers currently?
Yeah, well, people I've checked with the team say that they remain optimistic about Aaron Rodgers. They have had contact with Rodgers in recent weeks, but they don't have a hard and fast update. So they wish they had more clarity here, but this looks like systems go that he is plan A. They're going to wait this out. They know that he's had some family things or some personal issues that he has talked about in the Pat McAfee show that he has to work through. And so they're willing to remain patient. I saw team president Art Rooney II at the owners' meetings earlier this week. He said, we're going to wait, quote, a little while longer. So Rodgers plan A, Kirk Cousins could be a viable plan E after making plan B. After making some calls today, I do believe he's been on their radar. If something were to fall through with Rodgers, certainly they could reconvene, call Atlanta, see if they could try to shake something out. But right now, Rodgers is the guy.
Now, Art Rooney may be willing to wait, but that's not necessarily the case for Jalen Ramsey. He's probably waiting with a little bit more bated breath. Any updates on his situation and a potential trade there?
Yeah, so I was told Miami has been in contact and in talks with several teams about Ramsey. So nothing imminent yet, in part because of that $24 million in guarantees that he is owed in 2025. The Dolphins haven't shown a willingness to pay a lot of that money. Neither do teams. Now, the LA Rams have been loosely involved here. You know, they won a Super Bowl with Ramsey. They're very familiar with the player. Nothing hard and fast, though, as far as a deal. NFC East could be one to watch. Dallas Cowboys, look, they made 3 trades this offseason, 4 players on rookie deals. Could they make a 4th trade on an NFL veteran who's on a bigger contract? Certainly, but they need cornerback help. When I checked with somebody in Dallas, they said, look, it's possible we might not be done. It's slow right now, but, we could always be looking to add.
Look, there is no question that the 3-time All-Pro corner who will turn 31 in October will certainly be an asset to anyone's roster. Jeremy Fowler with the latest. We appreciate it, bro.
Back to the NFL, where number 1 overall pick Cam Ward has the inside track to start at quarterback for the Titans this season. Coach Brian Callahan already likes what he sees from Ward and OTA, saying, quote, it's the leadership ability and the way he's able to make those around him better, unquote. Now, Ward currently listed with the 2nd shortest odds at ESPN Bet Sportsbook to win the league's Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Vince Young was the last Titan to win the award back in 2006. Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty is currently the slight favorite. And senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler is back with us now. Jeremy, walk us through the latest you're hearing about early impressions of these rookie quarterbacks, and start with Cam Ward, please.
Number 1 overall pick, Jay, has been as advertised inside Tennessee's building. They knew he was immensely talented, but I was told they really had to even kick him out of the offensive coach's room at times, and then that's not hyperbole. They literally had to kick him out because coaches had to do other things at the time. Like, he is hungry for information. So lately it's been him and Will Levis kind of splitting reps. That will probably be the case in OTAs. I expect that to change once Ward takes further hold of that job. And you got Jackson Dart. So look, this is a situation where the Giants hit it off with Dart. When you talk to coaches and people in that building, they are just thrilled with kind of not only his moxie, but the way he works in the building, the way he sort of has a good feeling of what Brian Daboll wants out of a quarterback. So it's only a matter of time when he plays. They have been highly impressed so far with him. Russell Wilson will be the guy, at least in the short term. Then it will be Dart. Then you got Tyler Shuck here. So I was told that he has been smart and accurate in the first 2 weeks of practices with the Saints. That is what stood out about him, and that's to be expected. A lot of experience in college. He's in his mid-20s, so they knew that coming in that he would really fit that mold, and he's got the arm strength. But Spencer Rattler has been making a little bit of a move here, too. Year 2 jump. The coaches last year really liked him, even though he kind of underproduced on the field, but he was put in a bad situation, not a lot of help. So Rattler and Shuck are going to be kind of trading blows here for the next few weeks. Okay.
The Saints, by the way, have started 8 different quarterbacks since Drew Brees retired, second most in the NFL in that span. All right, despite all these rookie QBs, Jeremy, we just saw that it's actually Ashton Jeanty who's favored to be Offensive Rookie of the Year this season. So take us through the expectations they have for Mr. Jeanty in Vegas.
Well, so far they've seen the explosion on the field. They haven't done a lot of sort of tackling. It's so early in the offseason, but he works hard. His footwork is great. The explosion's great. Like, they're thinking of all the ways they could use him. In fact, Chip Kelly, the new offensive coordinator, plans to use him a lot in the passing game as well. Okay. So that's partly why he could be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's going to get looks both ways. The Raiders legitimately feel like between him and Brock Bowers, they could have one of those elite duos in the passing and running game that the Raiders haven't had in a long time. And clearly they've upgraded quarterback with Geno Smith. Last year they had one of the worst quarterback situations in the entire league.
They did. In case you're wondering, the last running back to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley in 2018. Jeremy Fowler, my dude. Appreciate
football stuff going on. Lewis, if I were to say Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Browns' starting quarterback when this season begins, is that ridiculous?
No, Greeny, you know, it's not ridiculous as long as they are able to. And I heard Dan Graziano talking about this morning earlier on ESPN Radio. Yeah, I listen to it when I'm in my car in the morning. It's all as long as they can get him enough reps. And it sounds like Kevin Stefanski is aware of the fact that in order to create a real quarterback competition, he has to kind of change some things in terms of the way he divvies out reps during the preseason and during the offseason. If he can compete with Dylan Gabriel, if he can compete with Joe Flacco, he can compete with Kenny Pickett, there's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with a level playing field, he could be your starter week 1, no question about it.
Look, sometimes we attach this number now. He was a 5th-round draft pick, and I understand that there was a reason for that. I'm not pretending it doesn't matter at all. But what I'm saying is if he had been drafted in the 2nd round or the 1st, which is what we were expecting, then there'd be almost no debate about it, right? We'd be with exactly the same body of work in college and the same skill set. We would absolutely be forecasting him to be the starter, especially, Dan, when you consider the other options they have available.
Right, but he is a 5th-round pick, and there was another quarterback they drafted 2 rounds earlier this year, right? In addition to Joe Flacco, who helped them get to the playoffs 2 years ago, and Kenny Pickett, who he's in the mix as well. So they have 4 guys. They need to get